Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is XBigChrisX, and today I thought I would show my subscribers and maybe anyone else uh, who is looking at getting the Elgato or wants to see what the software is like, stuff like that. And I thought I would kind of show it off, do maybe a little overview. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the basic main capture section here. So, before we get into that, this down here is your flashback recording. This monitors your time of how long it's been recording or how long it's been having a video feed into it. So right now we just rounded it out to about 55 minutes. 55 minutes in the recorder, and this is your volume. Now you can have this muted or unmuted. I prefer to have it muted because I don't want to hear me play the game from another, audio source, especially if, I have headphones on or I'm doing a live commentary, stuff like that. It's something you don't want to hear, and it's going to have horrible feedback. And honestly, I can't see why you would want that enabled at all. But yeah, that's just my opinion. This right here is actually where my stuff is being stored, as in the video where it's being stored to. It's being stored on Studio, which is an external hard drive I have. Really nice. I actually recommend switching all your storage to an external hard drive if you have one. If not, I suggest picking one up, especially if you're going to be recording in 720p, or really, really, really recommend it if you're going to be recording in 1080. But I don't think you should record in 1080, and I'll explain why in a minute. So, also up here you have your tags. Now this is your video title, game description, and of course tags. Pretty self-explanatory. But really the only section I can see that I would use is game, so I can sort out which games are which. Now this can also be edited in Edit, and that's mainly for if you're going to upload it directly to YouTube or Facebook, maybe to Twitter, but I haven't uploaded anything to Twitter yet. Maybe I will and see how that works. You basically get the same thing you have up here by clicking this info button. And let's start at the top, actually. Device. This is your device. It tells you what quality you're recording in. And if you hit the info button, you're going to get a description of input, output, and audio. So my input is 1280 by 720, 59.94 frames per second progressive. My output, which is what I will export it as, is 1280 by 720, 59.94 FPS progressive, 26.2 megabytes or 11.9 gigabytes an hour. So that's why you're going to need it, especially if you're recording extremely long games like maybe tournaments or something. And the audio is 224 kilobytes per second double AC, which is pretty good. I prefer Wave because it's kind of like universal. Next, we're going to click this button and go into the device settings. Now, right here, you have a few options, and I'll go through those in the next video. But the basic one we're going to focus on is capture right now. So this is where you select your input device, whether it be your console or your PC. Now, if you were to use your PC, you'd click Other, or your Mac, however you decide to do so. You're going to click Other, or retro consoles as well. That gets put under Other. But right now, I have Xbox 360, and that's what I'm using. I have my input as HDMI. Now, if you were on PS3, you would have to use component or composite. And I'm also using analog audio because I have Turtle Beaches, so I don't want to have all my audio go through HDMI, or else I won't be able to use my Turtle Beaches for any type of sound. Now, also, you have your HDMI color range. I'm not completely sure what this does. I haven't messed with it, and I decided not to touch it, especially since I couldn't find anything online about it from the Elgato website. But I'm going to guess it might brighten up your colors a little bit, stuff like that. But like I said, I'm completely unsure. Now, here's your profile to where you'll decide what the quality will be. You have mobile, standard, 720, and 1080. Now, you have the ability to record 1080, and especially if you're making montages, I suggest you don't. The problem with that is with 720, you can do 59.94 frames per second, or if you round it off, 60 frames per second. But with HD 1080, you only get 2997, and it's kind of a big flaw in my opinion that I don't like. But I'd have to say that's my only problem with this, is that I cannot record 59.94 at 1080. So, yeah. This preserve source format is basically, I'm getting an input of 59.94 frames per second, progressive. Now, if this wasn't selected, this number might lower or vary constantly. So with this selected, it's going to try to maintain that 59.94 frames per second as much as possible. Now, by me saying that, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will always drop or it always will fluctuate. Like with Battlefield 3, if there's heavy amounts of explosions and stuff going on, that's probably where your frames might drop. Just like with a PC, the frames will drop if shit gets too crazy on screen. Stretch standard definition input, that's only if you're using composite and there's like weird distortion and stuff like that. So it'll try to correct and fix that. So let's go to game audio now. Game audio is pretty self-explanatory. I have my game audio set to -24 just because, and we'll do live commentary at the same time. When I'm doing live commentaries, I kind of can't figure out how to have my voice loud enough and the game loud enough. You have this option to automatically reduce game sound, and this little green light will go on and off as the volume gets reduced. Your voice has to hit a certain threshold, which can be selected here to do so. The attenuation is also how much it will lower the game volume. So it's definitely recommended that you do this. And I would tell you guys, but I am not an expert in it, and I'm probably going to play around with it a bit just so I can figure it out, just so I know. You can either click this button, or for me, my shortcut is Command L. Now, if you are a PC user, I'm pretty sure it's Control L, I think. But I'm a Mac user, so I have Command L. You can also select your method of input here. This is my internal microphone, if yours has one. I don't recommend that, of course. Line in, audio box, boom device, which is something totally different, and the rest is totally not even important. Now, for line in, I'm using Turtle Beaches to do live commentaries and stuff like that, and they're pretty decent quality. So luckily they have a headphone out already, and I can just connect another cord and extend it and connect it right into the back of my computer. And so that's how I do live commentaries with that. Alright, so we'll close this down. Also, I have my voice at 12, so I have my game by 24 and my voice double that. So now we'll go to live streaming. Live streaming, pretty simple. You basically go here, and I have my accounts already matched up, so they'll appear right there. Now, I think when I hit this plus button, it's going to open multiple accounts, but let's do so anyway. Actually, I'll show you Twitch. Twitch, very simple. Your username, your password, you log in, and it'll pretty much do everything itself. You won't have to configure any settings or anything like that. But when you're on Twitch, and only when you're on Twitch, you have a server that you can select. Select the one with the least amount of milliseconds. It gives you better connection, better feed, stuff like that, and hopefully you can push 720p. And this is the status for that, but we'll switch back to YouTube. So with YouTube, it's instead the stream title. So, and I actually like the way that YouTube handles this a lot better. It just honestly just feels better. But YouTube streaming is not available to everyone right now. you have to be partnered and you have to go through a step or two to get that enabled. Bitrate will decide how high your quality will look. So it can be 720, but not the best 720, you know? And it could be like 720 in the best looking. Also right there, it gives you a brief description. Maximum upload speed, choose a rate which is below the maximum allowed by your internet connection. Now, I always choose the highest one because I have some really good internet. Oh, I'm going to have to probably... No, I didn't have to blur that out. Okay. So this is where you choose where it will be, and if it's going to be public, unlisted, or private. Category gaming, maximum resolution 720 or 1080p. I believe if you stream with 1080p, you're going to get half frames as well. But I don't think that will matter, especially if you're not going to do any type of editing of that video, stuff like that. So, yeah. Alright, so that covers... Oh, one more thing I should say. This gear up here will allow you to change where you store your recordings. This will enable or disable the flashback recording, which basically means, like right here, I can go back and scrub to a game I was playing a little while ago. The foot toggle switch capture, well, the foot switch to toggle capture is basically this external thing that plugs in via USB, works with your Elgato GameCapture software, and once you hit it, it will record. Now, the only reason I could see to use this is if you're recording Battlefield 3 on the PC or any other game that you can play on the Mac, and you don't want to exit the game and hit record. You kind of want to just be there, push your foot on the switch, and boom, it'll record. Sharing doesn't really apply to you unless you're recording or if you're exporting video for iPad or Apple TV, and I have automatically check for updates. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and stay tuned for part 2 where we will go into the edit and go a little bit in depth with that. It's pretty basic, but I think there's a few tips everyone could learn. So yeah. Once again, thank you guys for watching. XBigChrisX out. Oh, and also, if I don't know if you guys use Reddit or anything like that, but if you are, I actually have a special section called GameCapture, and it's dedicated to not just capturing video gameplay from Elgato, from every type of game recording device. It just started, so it's not huge, but I'm hoping everyone can go over there, check it out, post any questions you may have there, or post questions down below in the comment section of this video, and I will try my very best to help you guys out. Once again, thank you guys for watching. XBigChrisX out. Bye.